What's up, everyone? Welcome into Fantasy Football Office Hours for Week 7. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my beautiful, handsome, and excellent dancing co-host,
Josh,
and our other
also JL.
Yes, I got him to
Self-roast.
disparage himself. Yeah. Look at what we did.
Look at what
we did it. Guys, this is Fantasy Football Office Hours for everyone watching that has not joined us for this before. All we are here to do right now is answer your questions. Start sits, trades, dynasty values. Like I said on the last
financial advice.
Josh's dietary habits, my fashion choices, JL's
medical concerns.
JL's medical concerns specifically. If you got questions about that, just let us know. Or if you want to know, let's say about Lamar Jackson, Dak, and Herbert, we can answer that question as well.
I'm glad you came in, JR, because I saw your question in the last one when we were running low on time, and I almost said, let's discuss it in office hours, because I was curious about that too. I don't think we
was it this question here.
Yes, yeah, about that poll. Simon, I don't think you told us what the.
I'll tell you the full breakdown in a second. We got a very important comment to get to here first.
Woo.
Welcome in, Jay Wall.
I'm gonna clip that tonight.
The woo.
Yeah.
So JR wanted to talk about the poll that we talked about in the very last round of poll perception outside of the extra round. The poll was, let me go ahead and pull that up actually.
It was Dynasty. Who would you rather have?
Yes, it was a Dynasty poll. Who would you rather have on your Dynasty team? Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, or Dak Prescott? So like we said on the last one, Lamar Jackson got 27% of the vote. It was 27.1. Justin Herbert got 57.9%, and Dak got 15%. So Justin Herbert kind of ran away with this one in this poll. JR saying...
Wait, what was the breakdown again? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Lamar with 27, Justin Herbert with 58, and Dak with 15.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
So JR in here, and this is a little bit enlightening because I would have Lamar first. I was surprised by this one, but he said he's not sure Lamar's style. If play endures as he gets older, he would have him third because of that. So I'm going to go first.
What a great point to bring up.
That is a great point, but I see Lamar Jackson's value sustaining in this style of play for at least 3 more years, and I'm not looking too much further in Dynasty. So Lamar Jackson is my one in this. I have Lamar Jackson first, then Justin Herbert, then Dak Prescott in my eyes. I'm not too concerned about Lamar Jackson super long-term. The long-term for Dynasty is 3 or 4 years, and I think Lamar Jackson is going to continue this style of play for the next 3 or 4 years. JL, what do you think?
I have been thinking about that exact point that John brings up here about Lamar, because every time I've been rewatching these Ravens games, and I've just been thinking that, like, can he realistically not get injured from the way he plays? He does run in a way that I don't think it's typical. Like, you're not going to, like, most running quarterbacks, like, just don't protect themselves in the way that he does. And he does in kind of a funny way, but I still don't think it's enough to avoid an injury eventually. I'm not concerned about it at all. I have Lamar first. These guys are back in Dynasty. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, if they went off the board that way. It's Lamar, Dak, Herbert for me.
Lamar, Dak, Herbert. So I'm Lamar, Herbert, Dak. Jails, Lamar, Dak, Herbert. Josh, are you going to finish the trifecta?
Sounds like a delicious
say Lamar
ice cream
first
flavor.
as well?
No, it's Lamar, Herbert, Dak for me.
Woohoo!
Like you guys all
idiots.
said, they're very, very close. I love Lamar Jackson, and he's proven now at this point in his career that he can throw it.
Yeah.
If there's someone we compare Lamar Jackson to, people do it all the time. I know they're not the same player, but it's Michael Vick, right? And Michael Vick, into his mid-30s, was running around and looking like a great football player. I'm not concerned about Lamar Jackson at all.
Yeah. And the rushing edge, like, really sets him apart from these other two guys.
It's stupid. It's unbelievably stupid.
For fantasy.
Yeah, so dumb. Like, I remember I did the math at one point. It was like the rushing yards that Lamar Jackson gets, it's like just adding 10 passing touchdowns to his score at the beginning of the season, period. It's preposterous, the rushing, and Lamar Jackson's going to keep on doing it. Bam has a question for us. He said, if the Packers traded for Brandon Cooks, would Cooks' value go up or down? So for me, in redraft, his value goes down. In Dynasty, his value goes up ever so slightly. I know he would have Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, but I can't imagine he gets more volume in Green Bay than he's currently getting in Houston. Josh, how do you feel about this one?
I'm with you, Simon. I think the volume goes down, and I don't know if Dynasty it necessarily goes up because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be there next year. I think that's pretty set in stone, honestly, at this point. So, but he could be the number one wide receiver for the Packers next year. And I guess I trust the Packers franchise more than the Texans. So yeah, I guess maybe it improves his dynasty a little bit, but it hurts him this season. Targets are going to go down. And I love targets in fantasy football, especially PPR leagues. He's the guy there in Houston, and he's going to be a good fantasy asset all year. So it would go down if he went to Green Bay for me.
Yeah, it's down in both formats for me. For the reason you guys stated, and just imagine next year, no Devonta Adams, no Aaron Rodgers, Brandon Cooks, wide receiver one. I mean, Brandon Cooks is going to be somewhat fantasy relevant because he's proven that no matter where he goes, he will be. But that team is going to be a wreck.
Yep. Carlos, and you're saying obviously Simon didn't get the memo to wear a black shirt. Yeah, no one texted
Simon?
to me. Thanks a lot, guys.
Come on,
JL wants to know start 2, Simon, JL, or Josh.
Start. I'll save your guys' time here. It's start Josh twice.
Yes.
Sit
yes.
Simon.
Well, I was gonna say like there's got to be better options on the waiver wire.
Yeah, there's
JWall. Like someone's got to be sitting out there that you can pick up to start over these guys.
Quadri Olison's probably out there.
Javen wants to know, who do I bench, AJ Brown or Sutton? Josh, which of these two players would you bench?
No.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way they're the two worst options you have, right? But they're both locked in starters for me. Great starts. I guess I'll bench Sutton, but I hate saying it.
Yeah, it's easy bench Sutton for me in this game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I don't think there's going to be a lot of
in the Broncos-Browns game tonight.
Broncos-Browns game tonight. Yep.
Can we just stop talking about that game? Like I'm really upset that that's the game that's happening tonight. It has to be on an island. Everyone's going to watch. I'm so upset, but that's okay. Jake said, who do you guys think I can get in a 3-for-2 or 3-for-3? These are always really hard questions, Jake, without context of the other teams. We can give you general ideas of like value that you could be going for, but without knowing like who's rostering some of these players, it's going to be really hard for us to craft these like multiplayer trades for you.
Yeah. If you can give us like specific examples of like, should I do this one? That one's just, it's a little easier to answer.
Yeah. I guess what we can look at is like with DeAndre Hopkins, Darrell Williams, and Julio Jones, is there a running back wide receiver duo like where it can at least be a point of reference for Jake, like around this value that you would be looking at?
Chase Claypool, DeAndre Swift?
I think that's too much. I'm not sure you're getting DeAndre Swift, but you could try it.
I think that's fair. I mean, like DeAndre Hopkins is a top tier asset at this point, and I think I would be trying to sell him if I can. I'm not saying you have to. He's still going to be good for fantasy, but he's valued right up there with DeAndre Swift, if not above DeAndre Swift.
They're probably the second round if you're going to draft today. Josh, you had mentioned in an earlier stream this week that Swift very well could be a first round if we were drafting today.
He could be.
Could creep in there. But that's still close enough.
What about Leonard Fournette and Chase Claypool? Or is that not enough for you?
That's not enough.
Okay. What wide receiver plus Leonard Fournette would do it for you?
It would have to be a solid wide receiver, like Keenan Allen, maybe.
Okay.
But if that feels like just lateral, that doesn't feel like even I wouldn't really care to do that trade. I guess
you're upgrading upgraded running back for the rest of the season over Darrell Williams. But yeah, I get you. This is a tough one. Those are going to be a difficult package to sell, but it's really going to depend on what your teammates' teams look like. Unruly Drip said, do I start Jarvis over Devonta Smith? I'm not doing that.
Hell no. I'm sorry.
Because I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to make it seem so like talking down, but like Devonta Smith has been killing it, and Jarvis is just coming off the injury reserve. We don't know how healthy he's going to be, and he doesn't have anyone on offense. Maybe that helps him in targets, but we can't trust Case Keenum like that, I think.
Scott Fish updated us, I think it was 2 days ago or something. We were talking about this game. The line on this game is 41. That's the over-under. So Vegas is expecting what I'm expecting, which is just neither offense is really going to be moving.
Now, I will say you can start Jarvis. You're able to start Jarvis.
I'm not.
But with an option like Devonta Smith, I'm not doing that. This Browns offense is going to have a hard time moving. I think people are underestimating the effect that having both starting tackles out is not just going to have on the run game, but on the pass game as well. Case Keenum isn't going to have a second back there against this Broncos defensive line. So
if anything, the tackles affects the pass game even more than the run game in my mind, the pass rush is going to get through.
I'm very nervous about this offensive performance for the Browns tonight. I'm avoiding starting them if at all possible. Truly said top 2 fantasy defenses for the rest of the year. So do you guys have any fantasy defenses that stand out to you as top defenses rest of the year?
Yeah, there's a couple. The Rams, I just think are one of the best defenses in a good in anything outside of them playing an elite offense, which, they have the Cardinals in their division. But anything outside of that, I feel very comfortable starting the Rams. And then I'm sure someone's going to mention the Cardinals.
Yeah. Cardinals out there. Bills. I would put Bills above both those options. Maybe the Steelers too. Tampa Bay. Let's just name all the teams.
Not all of them. Don't start the Jets. Jay said Tua or Burrow this week. Are you guys going Tua, Tagovailoa, or Joe Burrow this week at quarterback? Joe Burrow is playing against Baltimore, and Tua is playing against Atlanta, which is, I guess, where this question is coming from, because Tua has the better matchup on paper.
It's Burrow for me.
It's Burrow for me as well. JL?
It's Burrow.
Triple Burrows for you.
Triple Burrows.
Carlos said, did I miss injury updates from Josh today? You did. On the Poll Perception show, we ran through injury updates.
I can give you a quick run through if you would like. T.Y. Hilton is not practicing. Tyreek Hill is not practicing. Latavius Murray and Sammy Watkins are not practicing. Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay, Saquon Barkley not practicing. Antonio Gibson, Ricky Seals-Jones are back at practice. Terry McLaurin practiced in a limited fashion. Dallas Goedert was removed from the COVID list. And Jarvis Landry is playing tonight. Odell Beckham looks very iffy at best. Teddy Bridgewater's in there.
Also, back to the Browns thing. JR said it is windy tonight in Cleveland. We saw a couple really bad weather games last year in Cleveland as well, and it was miserable for both teams offensively. So that's a great thing to bring up, JR.
I was hoping he was just giving us like the weather update where he is.
Oh, just windy tonight.
Windy tonight, guys.
Austin said, is Cortland Sutton for A.J. Brown a fair trade both ways? If not, which side would you rather have? I don't think so. You want the A.J. Brown side of this one. And Austin, just generally, whenever I'm looking at making trades, I'm not looking at trading 1-for-1 in the same position. It's difficult to have a trade that makes both parties happy that way.
It's harder to convince someone to go that route. You have to really find like a discrepancy where your league mate has like the inverse value relationship for the two players. It's tough.
And I will say the one one thing I could say about this is if one of the players is injured and you have a good record and exactly. Where you can kind of take advantage of just a roster that needs players to start.
Yep. Also, Carlos,
but it's AJ Brown there. By the way, it's AJ Brown, especially with Jerry Jeudy eventually coming back, which will take away targets from Cortland Sutton.
I just wanted to touch on this one real quick. Carlos said, damn, there goes my JD McKissic start with Josh's update on Antonio Gibson. I don't think so. I think you can still start him. Carlos. I think JD McKissic is very much still in play this week with a banged up Antonio Gibson in a game where Washington is likely to be playing from behind. Would you guys still feel comfortable starting JD?
Oh, 100%. Someone tweeted out, I can't remember who the account is, or I'd give them credit, the snap percentages. I'm pretty sure JD McKissic was outsnapped Antonio Gibson. It might have been first half. I can't remember now. But anyway, I think they're going to probably limit his runs this game.
I'm hesitant to start JD McKissic, but you absolutely can start him.
There we go. I think that's the perfect way to put it. Unruly Drips, it's stuck between Tannehill and Matty Ice. Josh, which of these two quarterbacks would you be starting, Tannehill or Matty Ice?
Tannehill for sure. It's the matchup, they're playing the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Did we talk about the over under last? Was that
on the last show?
57
and a half. That's nuts.
Are you taking the over under, Josh?
I would take the under.
I feel like I would have to take the under on that, but it very well could reach that. I'm going Tannehill as well, Josh. It's the matchup. Like, unless Matt Ryan had just an unbelievably better matchup than Ryan Tannehill, I would be going Tannehill. But Kansas City is a great matchup for quarterbacks. Joe, where are you going here?
Yeah, Miami is a good matchup too, but it's definitely Tannehill. A few spots ahead.
Jake has a trade option for us in here: Julio and Darrell Williams for Josh Jacobs. So JL, would you make this trade for Josh Jacobs?
Yeah. If you need a running back rest of the season. This is going to be a little bit team dependent and or league dependent as well. If you have depth on your team, I'm all about consolidating these assets and upgrading for Josh Jacobs.
Yep. You hit the nail on the head, JL. Josh, Denver or Saints DST? So Denver going up against the Case Keenum-led Browns. I'm guessing it's just this week, or the Saints going up against the Geno Smith-led Seahawks. So it's backup quarterbacks against these defenses.
I still lean the Saints.
Me too.
Yep, Saints for me.
Truly Epic has a very important question for us. If Sebastian Janikowski was still playing and if given a chance to kick a 67-yard field goal, would he break the record?
No.
He'd break his foot.
He'd break Justin Tucker's hopes and dreams and break the record.
He'd break Justin Tucker's vinyl record, and Justin Tucker gets so mad he'd break his foot.
And JR said it's actually beautiful where he is. It's not windy at all, JL. We got Swamp in here. He said, guys, I might be forced to play Peoples Jones. Also, yeah, that's rough with the windy report, but it's a home run play.
Windy report.
You got to do what you got to do. JR saying it's windy makes it a little more concerning, but
I've seen worse starts.
Yep. He's a shot at a home run play in this game. It's just going to take one big play for Peoples Jones and you'll be fine starting him. So hopefully that happens.
How much can we really trust JR's wind measuring ability here? Like, does he have the right technique where he holds his finger up? I don't know. I don't know enough about.
He's looking at the field goal post, the flags. They're really waving.
He's looking at him right now. Okay. It's windy, right? Okay. It's going to be windy tonight.
Obviously.
Unruly Drip said, how do you guys feel about Amari Cooper? I've been trying to sell him for the longest time. I don't like the volume.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys have concerns about Amari Cooper rest of the season?
Yeah, I do have concerns about Amari Cooper rest of the season. First of all, we've said it a lot, but the Cowboys just aren't passing as much as we would have expected coming into the season. Second of all, CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. For me, he's taken over as the one. He's the one. All right. So, yeah, you got the second option on a team that's not passing as much as we would expect, but he does have an elite quarterback throwing to him. He's going to have big blow-up weeks. He's lower than what I expected coming into the season.
Yeah, I felt like I was pretty down on him during the offseason. I have not been able to feel like I can trust Amari Cooper. Started to come around a little bit after week one. And then I'm trying to fight not letting my confirmation bias cloud my judgment here. But Josh is completely right. CeeDee Lamb has 23.1% target share in this offense. Amari Cooper has 19.8%. CeeDee Lamb's getting the majority there. And that there's a bigger gap in just the last 3 games. So you can look at that to see the trend. But I don't trust him. I think he'll be a wide receiver 2, a solid wide receiver 2. But I think the wide receiver 1 upside is not quite there.
I don't disagree with what you guys are saying, but what I will say is I think a 20% target share or near 20% target share in that Dallas offense is a very valuable fantasy asset, especially when it's a player as talented as Amari Cooper. I think he's got a high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1 upside. This could be an offense where we see CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper finishing that top 12, but I'm not calling for that, but I think his value may be a little bit higher than what it's perceived at right now. And if this is a dynasty league, I'm really excited about Amari Cooper. I think this is a perfect buy window for him in dynasty. There's a good chance he's not on the Cowboys next year. And I can think of very few NFL teams where Amari Cooper doesn't step in and become the primary target. So he's a dynasty buy for me right now. What do you guys think in dynasty? Are you looking to acquire Amari Cooper?
Hell no.
Hell no from Josh. Okay, I am on an island here for Amari Cooper.
For what you're going to have to pay to get him, I don't
think you have to pay as much right now is the thing.
I don't know.
Would you rather have him or Deontay Johnson?
Deontay Johnson. Yeah. That has switched since the season started for me.
What about him or Deebo Samuel in Dynasty?
I'll take Cooper.
That's a good question.
That is tough.
I'll take Cooper, but that one's a lot tougher.
I'll take Deebo.
I think I'll take Deebo too.
Okay, well, we found the line that splits us. Swamp, he said he might be forced to start Donovan Peoples-Jones. His other options are Michael Carter and Khalil Herbert. Do not start Donovan Peoples-Jones in my mind. I would start either of those 2 guys over him. Josh, which of these two would you prefer to start this week, though?
Michael Carter.
Michael Carter, JL?
Just pulling up their matchups real quick. So yeah, they're pretty close. Let's see. Khalil Herbert's going up against Tampa Bay. Not a great matchup. Michael Carter's going against New England. That's okay matchup. I think I'd lean Herbert here.
It's Carter, and it's that Tampa Bay defense that is the tiebreaker. That's why I'm going Michael Carter. I don't want to start Khalil Herbert against the Tampa Bay run defense.
Did he get any? Was he getting targets last game?
Who, Michael Carter or
Herbert? He got 3 targets, 2 receptions. It's all right.
It's something. It's more than 0.
Yeah, but I guess he could get game scripted out in this one too.
Yeah, 100%. Jeezy wants to know Javonte Williams or Elijah Mitchell this week. Who are you guys starting, Javonte Williams or Elijah Mitchell? So Javonte Williams plays tonight, obviously, and then we'll get Elijah Mitchell on Sunday.
It's Elijah Mitchell for me. It's a pretty easy Elijah Mitchell. Well, I love Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon's technically the lead back there still. So I love Javonte Williams' talent. I think he's more talented running back than Elijah Mitchell, but I think Elijah Mitchell is going to get more opportunity in that great 49ers running scheme.
Yeah, he could find himself in a positive game script as well. They're favored by 4 points, and both not great matchups for both these guys, but it's Mitchell for me.
Cleveland's no slouch against the run, and then especially their secondary is a bit banged up for tonight as well. They've got a couple linebackers out, corner out as well. So I think Denver may be able to get it done through the air a little bit, but I don't expect it to be a high-scoring game at all. I'll go Elijah Mitchell, but man, that's close for me. I feel like most weeks it would be Javonte Williams for me, but this week I'm going Elijah Mitchell. Jay said, don't sell Cooper. Cowboys have a great schedule coming up. And he also said, I'm with you, Simon. So Jay's on my side. Suck it, guys. I got a teammate now.
Jay's an idiot.
There you go.
Oh, people idiots a lot today.
Carlos said, I don't know the details of the COVID protocol. Goddard was activated today, but looks like he practiced away from the team. Will he play? Do I start him? Josh?
Yes and yes. Yes and yes. It looks like he's going to play, and if he's playing, there's not that many tight ends I'm starting over him.
Yep, I agree with you. Brian said, D-Hop, Mixon, and Damian Harris for Chubb and Cup. JL, which side of this trade are you taking?
Chubb and Cup.
Is weird.
It's Chubb and Cup for me as well, but this one is weird. But I think it's Chubb and Cup. But
it's easily Chubb and Cup for me, assuming it's redraft.
Josh, where are you going here?
Yeah. Could you guys trade Mixon and Damian Harris for Chubb?
Yeah.
You're missing at least one game with Chubb. We don't really know the extent of Chubb's injury yet. That's the only thing that makes me a little hesitant. If Chubb was healthy, I'm taking Chubb and Cup. I'm going to go ahead and assume Chubb is just going to miss one game, and then he's going to come back strong. So, I'll side with you guys and say Chubb and Cup.
Josh, you've made me rethink myself here.
It's a close trade.
In my mind, Mixon and Chubb weren't as close as they are.
That's the thing.
On second look, that is close. And D-Hop and Cup, there is a gap there for sure, especially considering like how we all believe the trend's going to go for DeAndre Hopkins. I would still lean Chubb Cup side. You also get a roster spot, which has value.
Yeah, it does. It does. And Damian Harris, he's not just the throw-in, in my opinion. For a lot of people, he might be, but I think he's a running back, a back-end running back too the rest of the season.
Yeah, the amount of carries he's getting.
Yeah, I agree with you guys there. Jay too nice. First of all, Jay too mean, not Jay too nice.
Another Jay.
How many? He's J4.
J4.
He's like 12.
Would you guys start Gibson or Elijah Mitchell is what Jay's asking. Gibson or Elijah Mitchell this week?
That's gross. I would start Elijah Mitchell just because, man, it's so crazy we're saying this. No one was talking about Elijah Mitchell coming into the season. It was a 5th-round pick.
Speak for yourself,
Josh.
Freaking
5th-round pick in the NFL draft, rookie. I'm not
5th-round pick.
In a dynasty context, we were talking about him. JL, do not say you were talking about him in a redraft context.
I was not.
All right. In a dynasty context, maybe. I'll start Elijah Mitchell over Gibson because I don't trust Gibson's workload with this injury right now. I think Gibson has more upside.
I'll go Gibson for the upside, but I don't want to start him. But Elijah Mitchell's not good enough. of a solid enough piece for me to put him over an uncertain Mixon. JL, where are you going? Or Gibson?
You guys want to guess?
He already said that he would go Mitchell, I think.
He would go. Yeah. I'm gonna go Mitchell in this. Do you
Sorry,
guys
I wasn't listening to you.
No, you're good. You're good.
The line is on this game. So I'll tell you, Green Bay is favored.
Which game?
Green Bay and Washington. Do you want to guess how much they're favored by?
A lot. 9 points.
Simon?
11 points.
Wow, that's pretty high. 8.5.
I almost went 8, but I didn't want to Price is Right Josh right there, so I went with.
I don't know if they're going to give him all of a sudden start giving Gibson targets this week. You know what I mean? Like if they're playing from down, like I could see this really not only just from the injury, but just from a game script perspective, going McKissick's way.
Yeah. We have another question in here, guys. Another Elijah Mitchell question. Elijah Mitchell, Michael Carter, or Damian Harris. I'm going Damian Harris, and it's not particularly close for me. Josh, what about you?
It's Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell and JL.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a Damian Harris guy. But I trust Elijah Mitchell this week.
I'm going Damian Harris. He's playing the Jets. One of the easiest matchups for running backs so far this season. And Josh, I expect New England to be up.
You are making me question. Like I've been pretty down on Elijah Mitchell for this week. Like unless it's an emergency start, you're making me question it with the confidence you have. I'm going to need to go dive in.
You got a lot of confidence.
He's an RB2 for me this week. A solid RB2.
Really? I am. I think I'm much lower than like he's like an RB.
Who else is going to get the runs there?
Trey Sermon.
Guys, it's Kyle Juszczyk.
We are laughing.
It's a Kyle Juszczyk week. Let's just all accept it. Bambo wants to know Hollywood or AB both have to compete. Oh, Hollywood or AB, comma, or period. Both have to compete with their starting tight ends for targets. So which one do you prefer, Hollywood or Antonio Brown?
Well, Antonio Brown's not really competing with the starting tight end. I doubt Gronk plays. He could play, but he's competing with the two other wide receivers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Great. Put some respect on his thing.
I lean Hollywood Brown, but it's super close. Actually,
which Brown do you prefer?
They're back and back. They're literally neck and neck in my rankings here.
I'm gonna go AB.
I'm gonna go AB as well.
I have Antonio Brown ranked higher, but my heart's screaming at me, telling me to go with Hollywood. But Josh, hey, AB is the logical decision, obviously.
Josh's body says yes to Hollywood, but his brain says yes to AB.
By the way, if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to Front Yard Fantasy on YouTube. Do it. You get a tax deduction. The government gives you a stimulus check. All these things are definitely going to happen. I promise you.
Yeah. Biden said it. He was like, yeah, stimulus checks for anyone, coming in and liking the
Front Yard Fantasy. They're a great channel.
And you'll get an edible arrangement within a week on your doorstep as well whenever you subscribe.
But edible is in quotes.
Edible arrangements
from Joe Biden.
234 in here says Bridgewater or Matt Ryan this week. JL will come
Ryan. Sorry.
That's okay.
Good answer, JL.
I'm not starting Bridgewater. I just
2-3. It's Matt Ryan.
Yeah, it's Matt Ryan for me as well. I'm avoiding this Cleveland game as much as possible.
Classic Jay. Why do I feel like Jay definitely has had multiple fantasy teams with the name like one cup, two Coopers or whatever it is, or two girlies, one cup. It's like the most common unoriginal fantasy team name.
Yeah, and I lost a bet.
I make that face every time.
I lost a bet one time in a league, and the other person got to pick my team name for the rest of the season, and they chose that. The most generic fantasy joke name you could ever have, and I had to live with it. And people thought I made it. It was pretty bad over there.
It's so funny, Simon.
Yeah, really funny. JL, I want to come to you first on this one because you just put out a tweet talking about trading for Mark Andrews. So, Josh, as I was saying, please get JL. He said, "What are your opinions on Mark Andrews? So, do I do a trade with him trying to get Waller?" So he's wondering, should he try to trade Mark Andrews to go get Darren Waller?
Nah, that's a lateral move for me. Assuming this is redraft, it's sort of a lateral move for me. Waller. While I think he could finish higher than Mark Andrews, I don't think it's going to be by a lot. if he does. And I don't even know that that's the case. I think I have Andrews higher rest of season.
I'm the biggest Darren Waller fan on planet Earth, and I'm not trying to move Andrews for Waller right now. It's been less than stellar for Waller since week 1, and we've seen enough games at this point that he's going to have more big weeks, but it's not going to be consistent. I like Mark Andrews' role in that offense a little bit more right now, so I'll stick with Mark Andrews.
Top 2 tight ends by target share.
Yeah. So for me, I am with you guys. Don't get me wrong. I prefer Waller rest of the season over Mark Andrews, especially in a PPR league. But I'm with you guys. I don't think I couldn't add anything to the Andrews side, anything of significance to get Waller. So
that's the thing.
It's lateral.
You're likely going to have to add something to the Andrews side to acquire Waller. The Waller manager is still going to value him higher than Andrews, most likely.
Which is dumb because that might not end up like that's not. I feel like that's solely based off the perception of the value too, or like maybe draft costs.
Also, 234 in here. He said, "Why do you hate Bridgewater?" Whoa!
I feel like this is specifically at me a little bit because I came in and said I don't want to start Bridgewater. All right, I don't hate Bridgewater.
Love the man. Love the man.
He's a good guy. I would go get lunch with him sometime, maybe a coffee, something like that. But on the other hand,
he wouldn't return the favor. He wouldn't go to lunch with you. I don't think.
Okay, it's a Thursday night game, and how many times have we brought up the over/under for this game? What is it? 41 points.
41.
So low.
It's super low. It's a Thursday night game, less prep throughout the week. And Bridgewater, he hasn't really given you much in terms of confidence starting up throughout the year. I mean, yeah, he's never been a top 10 quarterback. He's consistently in the mid-teens, right? And Matt Ryan has a great matchup. So you asked Matt Ryan or Teddy Bridgewater. Matt Ryan is such an easy play over Teddy Bridgewater for me, especially coming off the bye.
So let's ask another one. Teddy Bridgewater or Mac Jones?
Now, see, that's a better question.
Jones is playing the Jets. Jones Jets. Jones Jets.
And I go Mac Jones. So maybe I do hate Bridgewater. I'm sorry.
Maybe I do. They're
Josh,
back to back.
Josh, I'm gonna find one for you.
All right,
Teddy Bridgewater or Geno Smith.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh yeah. Come
on, there we go. We found one.
We found it. Yeah, start Teddy Bridgewater over Geno Smith.
What about Trey Lance?
Yes, he brought it up. Or 2-3-4-2-3. Brought it up.
The weather in Cleveland
allegedly windy.
It does concern me. And we saw this last year. This isn't some hypothetical. We saw it last year. There were 3 weeks in a row with very windy weather in Cleveland, and the fantasy production for the teams there were miserable during those weeks. I forget what week stretch that was. I'll look it up, but it's I am concerned about it a little bit, especially for the quarterback. Obviously, that's the position that wind matters the most for. They're the ones throwing the ball. Meteorologist, actually. No, I'm not. Maria in here said, I hate professors. I failed my test last week, so I'm here for office hours. Failed by 2 points in Scott Fishbowl. Yeah, you got to study.
Yeah.
Should have studied, Maria.
I like seeing the commitment out of you. You're showing that you do want to win this.
Yeah.
You do want to win fantasy this year. So I'm going to bump your grade up from a B to a B+.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Brian wants to know, do you think DK is a buy low right now or not worth trading for? So I'm assuming redraft. Would you guys be trying to trade for DK Metcalf?
Oh, yeah.
It's team dependent. I hate saying it, but it's team dependent. If you do not have a good record, you cannot trade for DK Metcalf because I do not personally believe that he's going to put up these, blow up weeks. He's going to be consistent. He's going to get targets. He's going to probably get 7-8 targets going here forward, even from Geno Smith. But again, the touchdown upside's so limited. Now, having said that, Russell Wilson will be back. It's going to take 5 weeks maybe, but he will be back, and DK Metcalf will be back to his original form. So if you have a good record and you can withstand maybe losing a couple games before Russell Wilson comes back, then yeah, I'm fine buying low on DK Metcalf. He's going to be a great player to have for the fantasy playoffs.
He is the 8th best wide receiver in terms of target share on his team with 27.3% of the target share. I'm all about that, especially with what you said, Josh, with Russell Wilson coming back. And I think touchdowns will regress.
Yep. 234 says, have Denver's defense. Should I anticipate 20-plus points from them tonight? I don't think you can ever anticipate 20 points from a defense.
You need a touchdown.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it should be a low scoring. I don't anticipate Cleveland will score much. So around that 10-point line is probably good. You get an interception or a fumble recovery. Maybe it's up there in the teens, but 20 points from a defense is preposterous to project. I could never do that. JL, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. They're top 10, but back of top 10 for me this week.
They're a good start. Feel comfortable with what you got and having the Denver defense, but yeah, you can't project 20 points.
Brian wants to know, what are your opinions on Jonathan Taylor? So rest of season, how do you feel about Jonathan Taylor?
I mean,
like him.
I like him. They're using him like
They're starting to use him more.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. They're starting to use him more. He's a little matchup dependent because he's not like, while he is a good passing catching back, it doesn't seem like they really want to use him that way. So if they're behind in games, he could be kind of an afterthought a little bit, but at the same time, he's a top 10 running back for me the rest of the season. Do you
guys know where he is right now in PPR season long so far? Over the season? Do you know where Jonathan Taylor is currently?
I don't, but I could guess.
He's
take a shot.
You want?
Yeah, take a shot.
I'll say he's running back 6.
7 for me.
5. He is a top 5 running back in PPR leagues right now. And Brian,
again, twice in one day.
This may be bullish, but I think Jonathan Taylor is a top 5 running back rest of season if they continue using him this way. I am really happy with what I've seen from how the Colts are starting to use Jonathan Taylor. And if that continues, he's a top 5 guy for me. He's got the talent. We know he has the talent.
And he hasn't had a single game less than double-digit rushing attempts, and he's getting semi-targeted. He's not doing a ton with it, except for that Baltimore game. But 3 to 4 targets a game.
I will say he's had a few of these big blow-up runs the last few games, which have really helped his fantasy performance. And Jonathan Taylor, if any running back suited to do this, it's Jonathan Taylor. He has a sub 4.4 speed, and he's explosive and powerful. So we have seen a lot of that, though. In the last 3 weeks, he scored 5 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks, 0 touchdowns in his first 3 weeks. If the touchdowns aren't there, it's going to be a little concerning for him, but I expect the touchdowns will come.
Yeah, and I feel like he hasn't also had the easiest schedule so far. I mean, it hasn't been like the worst, but he's had a semi-tough schedule in the first part of the season. So,
yep.
I have a question. Josh. Would you guys trade DeAndre Hopkins for Keenan Allen and Chase Claypool in a PPR league?
Yes. Easy.
Am I starting both of those guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do
Asking for a friend.
Asking for myself, Josh.
Because I just did that trade last night. I actually brought it up our last show, but I traded DeAndre Hopkins for Keenan Allen and Chase Claypool. They are both on bye this week. I am 5-1 in this league, and this guy's 2-4.
Josh.
So I do expect regression from DeAndre Hopkins. It's a 2 flex league, so there is like the second flex where I'm kind of like, I don't love who I've got there right now. So Chase Claypool is going to fill in great there. So I'm glad that you guys support my trade.
Are you having fun, Josh?
I'm having a great time.
Woo! That's a beautiful trade.
Thank you.
Well done. Well executed. It's good strategy right there.
Oh, you guys were not nearly as nice about my trade that I brought up.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, JL.
Your trade was fine. You didn't. I never got to put an input on your trade, but I like it in your situation. It's a situation.
Let me say it so everyone knows what we're talking about. It was Keenan Allen and Ramondre Stevenson for Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton. That was the trade. I traded away Keenan Allen and Ramondre Stevenson.
Than Keenan Allen and James Robinson.
Well, yeah, I would never make that trade. That would be a preposterous trade. I just needed. I had 2 empty wide receiver slots that I needed filled this week, and the value was close enough that I did it in a must-win situation. So, Josh, like you said, you were 5-1. You could afford to maybe lose a couple games. I can't. I believe I'm 2-4 in that league, maybe 3-3. I need to start winning weeks now. So
and both these trades, you say you got Chase Claypool. Is that who you got?
No, I got Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton.
Oh, Cortland Sutton. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I'm fine with that trade. Yeah, but
I'm rising on Ramondre Stevenson.
Woo. He's fine. Carlos wants to know, does Kyle Juszczyk have any value with Kittle on IR and the RB game still being iffy with the Niners? You guys have any interest in Kyle Juszczyk?
No.
Am I crazy for having similar levels of interest in Juszczyk and Elijah Mitchell this week? Like,
Yes.
I don't know which one they're going to like. I would be just as comfortable starting Juszczyk as Elijah Mitchell.
No, you're nuts.
Simon,
Okay.
you gotta go. You gotta dig into that, man. That's
No. But Simon does have somewhat of a point because Kyle Juszczyk has been on the field more and more and more, and he's a decent pass catcher, but he's not really getting carries. Elijah Mitchell. I think he is the 49ers running back one right now. I'm pretty confident about it.
I feel like there's a water bet here, but I feel like it's such a stupid water bet to make.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Kyle Juszczyk versus Elijah Mitchell. I'll take the Juszczyk side.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not even that I necessarily believe it. I just think it's close enough.
On the board, it happens, guys.
And Carlos in here. My man Carlos has my back. He says, Simon is thinking the way I am. LOL. Yeah, I got you, Carlos.
I'm going to write that on the board, guys. Don't you worry.
Lucius wants to know, start one. Amon-Ra St. Brown or Demetric Felton. I have Landry in my IR, so if I boot one of them off the roster, he's full-time. Standard league, thanks in advance. So Amon-Ra St. Brown or Demetric Felton in a standard league.
St. Brown. You can't have any faith in Felton at all.
In a standard league, 0. His value comes with the receptions. Hopefully, that's what we're imagining. But it's Amon-Ra for me as well. JL, what do you think?
Gosh. I guess, it's close enough. I'd go Amon-Ra St. Brown, but it is close for me. It's not terribly far off.
We're not even considering this. He says he has Landry in his IR. Landry's expected to play tonight. He could also start Jarvis Landry.
It's Landry. Yeah. Yeah.
Standard.
No,
it's the Landry for me.
I'm not touching Landry this week.
All of these guys are pass catchers, though.
Yeah, I think it's Amon-Ra for me still, but it's the Landry decision makes it a little bit closer. Jake in here said, and before I got to go, even though I'm a Giants fan, Simon, I'm rooting for a Browns win tonight somehow. Thank you, my man. You know what? Browns and Giants fans, misery loves company, and that's why it works.
Guys, take a guess on the I'll say Detroit is obviously not favored in this game against the Rams. Take a guess on the line.
Oh, it's huge. It's giant.
How heavily favored
it's more. It's 14.
15.
15. Josh, you won again.
Josh is where was this, Josh, when we were playing bowl perception?
I don't perform well under pressure.
I'm the Stove has a question for us. Start 'em, sit 'em, pick 2. Waddle, Shepard, Landry, Mooney.
The first 2.
I was going to say you almost have them in order. Swap Mooney and Landry, and that's the right order for me. But Waddle and Shepard are the 2 I'm starting as well. Josh, JL?
I don't know if it's PPR or not.
The first 2.
Yeah. Waddle, Shepard for sure. Yeah. Mooney's not far behind, but Landry's very far behind.
The Columbia question for us. He said, good afternoon and greetings from Columbia. He said, I'm getting offered Marquez Callaway and I would give away Tyler Higbee. My starting tight end is Darren Waller. Okay. Should I accept it? I think it's
no.
Why? I mean, in my mind, there's no, like, you've got Darren Waller. You're never starting Higbee over him. The only argument is like the bye week. You could maybe have to grab someone off the waiver wire, but is that really that much of a downgrade from Tyler Higbee? And I would rather have Marquez Callaway on my roster than Higbee, but it's not even like I like Marquez Callaway. Just Higbee's wasting space on your roster in my mind. Josh, how do you feel?
I think I'm more or less with you, Simon. Maybe Marquez Callaway becomes something. I don't necessarily. I don't like holding 2 tight ends typically in fantasy, and that's what you're doing here. I'm not a big Marquez Callaway fan either. In a bubble, in a just in a vacuum, I'm probably choosing Higbee over Callaway. But when you have Waller, I think I'd rather have Marquez Callaway on my team.
Yeah, Not I, says JL. You just want to keep Higbee?
Yeah. I'd rather have the tight end on the better offense, in my opinion. I think Higbee will absolutely be a weapon for Matthew Stafford. And Marquez Callaway really hasn't showed us much. I mean, he got 2 touchdowns this past week, which gave him a lot of points if you're just looking at the box score. But I was on 4 receptions. Like, I'm not excited at all for Marquez Callaway.
And don't hear what Josh, like, I'm not either. I am very unexcited about Marquez Callaway. I just don't think there's any need to have Higbee on your roster. And that's the only reason. I think you can
flex Higbee and when you need it. I agree with Josh. I tend to not try and roster 2 tight ends, but Higbee to me is going to finish the year.
I would rather look for a trade where you package Higbee with someone else and upgrade even if it's ever so slightly.
Yeah.
So like this one, give away Tyler Higbee and Antonio Gibson for Darrell Henderson.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That is you read Josh's mind.
Oh God, that is a beautiful trade. Do
counter with that trade.
Yes, that was beautiful. Perfect. Yes, do that, please.
You just made Josh so happy with that trade. Justin said Darrell Williams, A-Rob, Waddle, Javonte, PPR. It's I thought that this is close. Josh, who do you think?
Darrell Williams is the lock here for me, believe it or not. And then it's Waddle.
It's between Darrell Williams and Waddle for me, but I think you're right, Josh. You got to go Darrell Williams. Jail, where are you going here?
Sorry, what was it?
Darrell Williams, Allen Robinson, Jalen Waddle, Javonte Williams.
It's Darrell Williams.
Yeah, we got 3 Darrell Williams here, but a nod to Waddle. I don't think it's that far off. Justin said Teddy B or Jameis. Jameis for me.
Oh, we're talking about this week?
Yep.
Yeah, Jameis.
John Luke.
Jameis.
Triple Jameis for you right there. And then the Colombian said, imagine CMC and Henderson.
I can't. It's too good. It's too good.
Yes. That'll be beautiful. Oh, and you said it perfectly. Sheesh. Nailed it.
Or he was like, sheesh. Man, why do we keep getting these today?
Start one. Josh, Jay, JL, Simon.
We're starting
Tim,
Josh. We already decided. Actually, now Tim's in here.
Tim's that wild. If you need a high upside, high variance play, throw Tim in your lineup.
If you're projected to lose, it's definitely Tim.
Yeah,
you can get
there'll be fireworks either way.
And then Joey's a close second.
Joey's definitely the underdog.
He's a rookie, but like so much upside.
Yes, so much potential. Very promising.
And Jay, just that washed up vet. I don't know if
I didn't even see Jay in there, which perfectly describes how I feel about Jay.
I didn't notice Jay either.
You guys are dicks.
I saw my name and I saw Josh's name, and that's all I focused on.
I was like, us 3, Tim and Joey.
Yeah.
Maria, for someone who failed their fantasy football exam last week, you really aren't paying attention very well in office hours.
We just
if you missed that.
Come on. You know what? You're going back down to a B. Giving away that plus.
Justin says Evans. So Mike Evans, Jamar Chase, Hollywood, or Terry McLaurin start 3. So really, you're just benching one of these players. So which player from this list are you benching? First of all, congratulations on such a great wide receiver core. It's Hollywood.
I'll bench Evans.
It is close between Hollywood and Evans. I'll bench Hollywood, but it's close. Jail, where are you going?
I read that as 3 PPR, and I'm like, wow.
I read that too.
Wild. Jarvis Landry. I would bench Marquise Brown.
It is close between him and Evans for me. Terry McLaurin and Chase are locked in, and then you got to make that tough call between those 2 guys.
For Evans.
Yeah. Man, that's a close one. Congratulations on that wide receiver.
You're going to win, doesn't matter.
That is a really good wide receiver core. Jay in here. Jay, that is so rude.
Didn't see you there, Jay.
I don't know.
Why does this keep happening?
Back in my day, we showed respect to our elders. Yeah, well, welcome to the future.
Not your day anymore.
Yeah,
obviously.
Jake said, I'm back and I'm starting Simon at QB and Snacks at running back, winning it all this year.
Love it.
It's a good combo.
I love Snacks wasn't even in the mix, but you're bringing him in. I love it.
Kyle has a question. Except a trade sending away Mooney for Ertz. He has Terry, Woods, Waddle, and Jacoby. Henry at tight end with Logan Thomas on IR. So he's got Hunter Henry at tight end. He's not currently starting Mooney because he's got Terry McLaurin, Woods, and Waddle. Would you guys send Mooney away for Zach Ertz?
Nope. Too many options. I mean, I'm excited for Zach Ertz, but there's uncertainty there. We don't know how he's going to perform in this new offense. Mooney has the highest target share in the Chicago offense. The only thing that's really holding Mooney back is the amount of times that they're passing the ball. They're just not. They're the last place out of all NFL teams in pass plays. I'm hoping that they can unlock Fields and remedy that, and that there's some regression there. But I would much rather have Mooney here.
Josh, how do you feel on this one? Oh, I think we lost Josh. Josh is a frozen boy. I'm with you though, JL. I'm going Mooney, and we'll answer for Josh. Yeah, I would take Mooney as well. Oh,
but I don't know. I'm kind of dumb and I smell good.
And I smell good. You could only insult him once in that sentence.
Yeah.
He's starting to get the goes being too mean. And then Carlos said, I think I missed my question getting answered. Jacoby or Julio? I promise I'll pay attention this time. I think we skipped that one on accident. Jacoby or Julio?
We did not answer that. So thank you for bringing it back up.
It's Jacoby Myers this week.
Yeah. Do we have any news on that hamstring?
I don't think we do. I personally expect Julio to play, but he could be limited.
He is practicing today.
Limited
practice today.
Jacoby Myers for me.
Yeah, Myers.
CPR.
It's Myers for me as well. And
touchdown week for Myers.
I sure hope he lands in the end zone this week. He deserves it. Like, come on, Jacoby.
I wonder if this is as big of a deal for them as it is for fantasy Twitter. Like the first touchdown? Jacoby like, God damn, where can I get a touchdown? I just want one.
Also, the Colombian said, now to my starters for this week. Murray, Gibson, then Harris, Shepard, Mooney, Waller, Javonte, Patsy, Tucker. And his bench is Deontay Johnson, Higgins, Hurts, Claypool, Myers, Higbee, McKissick. I guess he's asking, should he make any changes? Like McKissick over Gibson. Would you make that change? Or are you leaving Gibson in?
I'm leaving Gibson in.
What about McKissick over Latavius Murray?
I don't think Latavius Murray plays personally. So yeah, I'll go. You're starting both of the football teams. I will go try and
trade Latavius Murray if you can.
Or Damian Harris, it looks like. So over Murray, Damian Harris, McKissick, Javonte Williams. Which one are you starting?
Damian Harris.
Unless that's Najee Harris. If it's Najee Harris, that's even easier. But
he's on a bye.
He's still.
Oh, he's already starting Damian Harris. He's got three
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is your starting lineup.
I would
Higgins over Mooney.
Higgins over Mooney. Yeah.
I agree with that.
I would start McKissick over Gibson in this matchup.
Well, I don't think he has I think he might have to start McKissick and Gibson. Javonte.
I'm confused.
The other option would be Javonte Williams, because if Latavius Murray doesn't play, his other options are Javonte Williams. Or no, that's already in a starting lineup. It's McKissick. He's got to start McKissick and Gibson, it looks like.
I would start McKissick over Javonte Williams.
I think he's starting both. His lineup is looking like he's got both of them in there. Yeah, this is a tough week for running backs and wide receivers. Definitely tough. Let's see. We have a couple more questions in here. James said trade Edmonds and Carson for Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, half PPR. Other RBs are Mixon and Henry. Yeah, Edmonds and Chris Carson for Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams.
Yes.
Josh, are you doing that trade?
Sure.
I'm not as emphatic as JL.
Chris Carson might not play very much this season.
Yeah, so I think I'm making it, but I'm not super excited about it. Marty says, sup guys, I have a few leagues that I may have bye week issues. So should I just say F it and take the L and move on to next week? It depends. There are situations where you're better off not dropping a player on your team and leaving a spot blank, but you got to have a good record. It has to be a player.
Try to start people.
Yeah.
Try your best, but you're not dropping the Chase Claypools of the world to do this.
No, God, no. Yeah. I think I came up on the trade value stream that we did yesterday, Josh, but, Sigmund Bloom, are you guys frozen? Can you hear me?
Nope, I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whenever one of you freezes, I know it's one of you guys, but if you both freeze, it scares me. I thought it's me. But I think Sigmund Bloom put out a tweet or something about this. Like, don't wreck your team just to try and field a roster this week or to try and get some points. You're playing for the long term. If you have to take an L, take an L. But just don't wreck your team. Don't put yourself in a worse position long term.
Yeah. Victor says Hurts or Darnold. Hurts by a lot in my eyes. Rendon says, let's go Broncos. Boo. He said, yes. Hope all is well, boys. I was able to get Goddard on waivers. Nice. It's a good trade bait. I have Waller, so I'm going to trade him after next week. Yeah. See what teams are tight end needy. Beautiful. Look for people with tight end buys and maybe go try to trade him. That's a great pickup over there.
I love it.
And the Colombian was just letting us know it's Damian Harris. So he's already starting Damian Harris. Yeah. all the more reason that you should go make that trade for Darrell Henderson if you can. That makes a lot of sense for your team. AB wants to know half PPR, looking to lock in a flex, Mooney, Mike Davis, or T.Y. Hilton. Josh, you look stressed out about this one. Where are you going to go here?
I'll go Mike Davis.
Yeah, I think I'm going Mike Davis as well. It might have been T.Y. Hilton, but the injury concerns me. We don't know if he's playing, right, Josh?
No, we don't. He's 50-50 this week.
So I'll go Mike Davis. Jail, are you going Mooney?
No. T.Y. Hilton isn't, even in this discussion. It's Mike Davis against Miami.
Yes, Mike Davis and Mooney are close for me. But...
They are closer.
Yeah.
Dennis says 10-team half PPR league. I'm 6-0 trying to improve my roster. It's got Kyler Murray, CMC, Hubbard, Khalil Herbert, Devontae Booker, Gibson, McKissick, Elijah Mitchell, Javonte Williams, DJ Moore, Robert Woods, Ridley, AJ Brown, Mike Williams, and Marquez Callaway.
You have a good team,
Good team, Brent.
League flex spots are running back, wide receiver, and wide receiver tight end. That's why there is no tight end. Thinking about trading a package of Gibson, McKissick plus RB. Super scared of the shin injury.
Same.
Yes, that's exactly what I would recommend you to do. Trade those guys. Maybe package them with Woods and see what you can make happen. I'm fine with something like that.
Yep, I think that's the kind of move you can afford to make at 6-0. And this is the perfect time to go trade Gibson and McKissick.
Would you guys trade Gibson McKissick for Darrell Henderson?
Yeah.
Do you think you should get that done?
No. Gibson, McKissick, Woods for Darrell Henderson. It's closer.
A little too much. You might need like a little bit of something on there on the other end.
A big package. That's a big package.
Now, if we're talking about someone like
big package for Henderson
is a good. I love Darrell Henderson the rest of the season. I really.
But you wouldn't be willing to give him your big package, is what you're saying?
No, I want to keep
my big
package.
Doesn't have one to give.
The package would have to be a little bit smaller in order for you to give it to Darrell Henderson. And then the Colombian said, y'all told me to start Higgins over Mooney, right? Yeah, I think all three of us said we would start Higgins over Mooney. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
I would start Higgins over Mooney.
Yeah, I would.
Brian says D-Hop and Mixon for Saquon and A.J. Brown.
No,
I'm keeping D-Hop and Mixon.
And it just feels lateral. And then on top of that, the question marks with Saquon's injury. I mean, Mixon has issues of his own, but
yeah, I'm not making that trade. I also struggle with trades like this. The Colombian came in here and said, so final lineup would be Kyler Murray, J.D. McKissick, Damian Harris, Sterling Shepard, T. Higgins, Waller, Javonte Williams, Pats, DST, and Tucker. I think that looks good. That is a good lineup, especially with the running back situation you have. You've put together a pretty solid starting lineup right there.
Let us know if you win, Colombian.
Yep. Delo says my wide receivers are DJ Moore, AJ Green, Amari Cooper, Sterling Shepard, and AB. Antonio Brown, I'm guessing. But AB and Sterling are questionable. Should I pick up Tim Patrick and start him tonight? Start AJ Green or trust Sterling to play?
I think Sterling plays.
I do too.
And then you can always fall back when AJ Green, who is just as good of a play, if not better than Tim Patrick.
100% agree with you there, Josh.
99% agree with you, Josh.
Jake said, this guy isn't trading me Sanders for Khalil Herbert and Tim Patrick.
Jerk.
Is there a running back that's around that level that I could get and think? So is there another running back besides Miles Sanders that you might try to get for Khalil Herbert and Tim Patrick?
So I'm sure we mentioned Miles Sanders because he's doing so poorly that, we would just think that the perception of him is so low that you could do that. I mean, Khalil Herbert is a fill-in for the moment, and Tim Patrick is more or less the same thing. So it really depends on the other end. But yeah, Josh Jacobs comes to mind.
Javonte Williams.
If you could do that,
I would do that. I
wouldn't do it on the other end. Maybe see who has David Montgomery.
Get that done. What about Chase Edmonds?
No.
I think that's where I draw the line.
I would do it.
You would do it for Chase Edmonds?
It's honestly,
you know what?
I could totally see that side working out, Josh. Assuming that like Chase Edmonds is just in a rut right now, and that things sort of level out. Long term, that could be the play.
even if he's not, like rest of season value, I think I would take Chase Edmonds. Josh, I'm on your side now. I would take the Chase Edmonds side of that as well. I think you may need to lower your standards a little bit for the running back you're going after, but you can still get a deal done that benefits you long term, Jake. Dennis is oh, sorry, go ahead, Jay.
What about Elijah Mitchell?
No, I will not do that.
Well, Kyle Juszczyk.
Okay, I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't do it for either of those backs. Josh, would you do it for Elijah Mitchell?
Yes.
What? JL, would you?
Oh yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
I missed the memo on Elijah Mitchell or something. I'm
Everyone,
so
I don't feel good. I feel
Shanahan
dirty. I
offense.
feel dirty about it. All right. I feel dirty saying it, but
I don't. I feel
I'm gonna
clean as a
go
bee.
watch some tape and look at some stats after
Watch
this
some
to see how crazy I am because
Fightful tape watching.
I truly feel like he's like a top 40 running back this week. Like I'm having trouble. And now that's me saying I could be 100% wrong. That's why I'm going to go dive into this a little bit more. Carlos said Fantasy Pros just posted that you should sit Jacoby. They know nothing. This is Jacoby's week. At least compared to Julio, I think so. At least
we say that every week.
And Doug Colombian said, y'all don't like Mooney against the Buccaneers. I think it's less that. It's more us liking Higgins against the Ravens a little bit more.
Yeah. I think they're not back to back, but they're semi-close.
yeah, they're close. Higgins is a better talent in my mind.
Yeah. And the Bears just aren't passing very much at the moment. So until they start to do that.
Mess.
God, it seems like, I don't know. It seems like common sense, but I guess not.
Nope. So Dennis is wanting to know which of these guys on the waiver wire is our favorite pickup. So on his waiver wire currently, he's got Penny, Judy, Beasley, Jamison Crowder, Corey Davis, Bateman. Which two are your faves rest of season? For me, it's Judy and Bateman.
Judy needs to be owned.
Yeah. I would drop Callaway for Judy in a heartbeat.
Oh
yeah,
my
just
God.
like
I
go
would-
get
I
Do
would
that
Judy.
so fast. If it's open
and
waivers.
Corey Davis too should be owned.
Oh my gosh, yes. Beasley should. No, I'm just kidding.
I missed Corey Davis's name in there, and I even said it out loud. It's Jerry Judy and Corey Davis for me as well. But Rashad Bateman is worth picking up. But this is a stacked waiver wire, Dennis. Go get Judy and Davis on your bench if you can. Would you drop Devontae Booker for Corey Davis?
Yeah, if you don't need a running back.
If you don't need a running back.
Devontae Booker could easily be a running back that you want to start this week. I don't expect Saquon Barkley to play this week, so it depends what you need. But in a bubble, on a vacuum, I would choose Corey Davis over Booker for sure.
What I would do if I'm looking at this, like, what would I do? I would drop Callaway for Jerry Judy right away, right now. I would wait a little bit on the Saquon news. And then if he's not playing, or if he is playing this week, then you could drop Booker for Davis or Bateman. Take your pick. Yeah. But otherwise, I'm holding on to it.
I want all of these guys on your waiver wire. Like all of these guys are guys I would recommend picking up for other people. Go check your league's waiver wire. I'd pick up Penny just in case Alex Collins doesn't play. I pick up Bateman 2 weeks ago. Make sure you pick up Bateman if he's there. Yeah, Corey Davis, Judy, Beasley. Gosh.
Okay, guys, we're going to answer the last few questions in here, but we got to be wrapping up shortly here. Dello said, final lineup, what do you guys think? Kyler Swift, Darrell Williams, DJ Moore, Sterling Shepard, Hunter Henry, Mike Davis, Packers D, Matt Gay. That is a great Week 7 Bipocalypse lineup. That looks solid, Dello. I think you've got a great shot.
Yeah.
Maybe like Week 1, you would have been like, ugh, but this is actually a solid lineup for this week. Also, Dennis, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate all the questions that you're bringing in here. We love it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We love helping you all out, hanging out, talking fantasy. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support and encouragement.
I plead the fifth on this question. These are the two players I have been just poo-pooing on all week. Dearness Johnson. Okay. Dearness Johnson or Elijah Mitchell. It's Mitchell. It's Mitchell for me as well. That's where I draw the line. Is Dearness Johnson.
It's far after use check, but Dearness Johnson.
It's about 40 spots after use check. But then, LeBron's brain says Goddard or Tim Patrick and flex for this awful week. I'll go Goddard.
Yeah, Goddard. I'm excited to see him without Zach Ertz, even though Tim Patrick has been as safe as they come at the wide receiver position. I'll go Goddard for the upside.
Goddard. And we're going to answer this last one real quick. What are your opinions on Jerry Judy?
This is options.
option. I think it meant opinions. I think it was not.
I'm sorry.
Jerry Jeudy's one of the best route runners in the NFL, and whenever he comes back, he should be fantasy productive. If he's on your waiver wire, go get him right now. That's my opinion on Jerry Jeudy.
Exactly what you've been seeing from Tim Patrick is what I would expect from Jerry Jeudy, but better because he's more talented, in my opinion.
Guys, that is going to be it for us today for Fantasy Football Office Hours. Carlos says you are the best. To everyone here, I wish you the best through this bipocalypse.
You're the best, Carlos.
You're the best, Carlos. And let's I second that sentiment. Good luck with your buys this week. Into Colombian had a sad robot in here. Did we forget a question from him? Or is that for the bipocalypse? I think he's just sad from the bipocalypse. We are all sad about the bipocalypse, guys, but good luck in your matchups. Enjoy Thursday night football. And until then, we are out of here. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, playing some Full Perception. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. Until then, adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.